Hare Krishna. Thank you for coming to class this morning. This morning, because it's the anniversary of the appearance of Sri Advaita Acarya, we're going to read from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita and the chapter that describes the appearance and position of Lord Advaita Acarya. Vande te Srimad Advaita Acaryam Adbhuta Chestitam Yasya Prasada Dagyopi Tatsvarupam Nirupayet. I offer my respectful obeisances to Sri Advaita Acarya, whose activities are all wonderful. By his mercy, even the foolish person can describe his characteristics. Jai Jai Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gauda Bhakta Vrinda. All glories to Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, all glories to Lord Nityananda, all glories to Advaita Acarya, and all glories to all the devotees of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Pancha Shloke Kahila Sri Nityananda Tattva Shlokadvaya Kahi Advaita Acarya Mahatattva. In 5 verses, I have described the principle of Lord Nityananda, and then in the following 2 verses, I describe the glories of Advaita Acarya. Mahavishnu Jagat Karta Maya Yat Srijadyada Tasya Vatara Evayam Advaita Acarya Ishvara. Lord Advaita Acarya is the incarnation of Mahavishnu, whose main function is to create the cosmic world through the actions of Maya. So it's very important to understand, as we are devotees in the movement of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Ki Jai. And I remember Prabhupada at a Rath Yatra welcoming after the parade. He welcomed everyone and he said to everyone in the crowd, devotees and all the guests, he said, "Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for participating in the Sankirtan movement of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu." Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, as we know, was very fond of going on the Rath Yatra parade. He lived in the Jagannath Puri. 18 years he was there, so every year he would go, and he was very fond. So that was at the Rath Yatra parade in Melbourne in 1974, where Prabhupada said like that. So it is important for us, because we're in the movement of Lord Chaitanya's Sankirtan movement, and we have to know who is Lord Chaitanya, who is Lord Nityananda, just as we have to know who is Krishna, who is Radha, who are the gopis, and so on and so forth. We have to especially know about Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Panchatatmatmakam Krishnam Bhakta Rupa Surupakam Bhakta Vataram Bhakta Kyam Namami Bhakta Shaktikam is Panchatattva. Just like every year when you go to Sri Mayapur Dham, you can see Sri Panchatattva. This year will be special celebration Mayapur. This year their 150th anniversary of the appearance of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. And where I'll be there next week in Mayapur, and they're going to have one big celebration, and all over in the Gaudiya Math, and also in ISKCON. The message has been put by the GBC Executive Committee that all the centers, as far as possible, because it is a momentous occasion. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta, 150 years before he appeared. So in the Gaudiya Math all over India, they're making very special celebrations. And also ISKCON India and those around the world who can do, they're making special celebrations. And also there'll be one Maha Abhisheka of the Panchatattva. And so that's very, the big deities, I've been there a few times. In the back of the deities, you have to stand on the scaffolding. Those from Mayapur would know these things. And then you have to pour. I think I was behind. Actually, I was behind the Sri Advaita Acarya. And I think Bhakti Chara Maharaj was there, and Lokanath Maharaj was there, and I feel Gopal Krishna Maharaj. He was above, he was pouring on the Lord Chaitanya. I forget who was pouring on the Lord Nityananda, and I was pouring on Advaita Acarya. All the Guru Kulis were passing all the things from the bottom up, and then we were high because Panchatattva is very big, and you can't just go like this. You have to get up on the scaffolding behind and then pour. Very wonderful. So they're having a big Maha Abhishekam this year also on one of the days. So we'll all come. I don't know, maybe I'll be like that year I was the GBC chairman, so I think I got special consideration. I don't know if I'll be picked this year. You have to you have to wait your turn, I think. So there are many who want to go there and pour, do the Abhishek, the different ingredients and so on. So today, of course, Advaita Acarya, part of the Panchatattva. Panchatattva. This is to understand the 5 truths. Now, before anything, Srila Prabhupada, he didn't know if he was going to live to be. He always wanted to translate and comment on Chaitanya Charitamrita, but at that time he didn't know if he was going to live long enough. So he put out a short work called Lord Chaitanya, TLC, Teachings of Lord Chaitanya, but also he put out a little book. He wanted a certain chapter, and it was called Lord Chaitanya in 5 Features. And I know about that because we were selling it. And there was just one book that Prabhupada thought very important because it describes what is the understanding of Sri Panchatattva. So we had, before Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, we had teachings of Lord Chaitanya that give the overall of the description of Lord Chaitanya and his different Leela. And of course later on, he was able to translate and comment on Chaitanya Charitamrita, so there's more elaborate description of that. Of course, there is Chaitanya Bhagavad. There's many works on the life and activities and of Lord Chaitanya and his devotees. But this one was called Lord Chaitanya in 5 Features, and it describes the meaning of what is the Panchatattva. Actually, all the spiritual truths are there in Panchatattva. We know that previously Sankaracharya came and interpreted the Vedas in bringing out impersonal, and Lord Buddha came before that, and then Sankaracharya came, and then so to show what is the personal aspect of the absolute truth, Lord Chaitanya, who is none other than Krishna, and Lord Nityananda, who is and our next week is Lord Nityananda's appearance day. I'll be in Adelaide just before I go to Mayapur, and so I don't know, here you're celebrating here Lord Nityananda. I think what day? The next Thursday, isn't it? Yes. Yes. So just coming up, not very far apart, and then I think that Gopurnim is this year is a little bit later, at March 25th, I believe, March 25th. A little bit later, but so the next week's Lord Nityananda. So there in Panchatattva you have all the spiritual truths are contained in these 5, Lord Chaitanya in 5 Features, as Prabhupada called that little booklet. Lord Chaitanya in 5 Features. Now you have the original personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna. He is appearing as Lord Chaitanya, of course, in the mood of Srimati Radharani wanting to taste Radharani's love for Krishna. And the immediate expansion of Krishna is Balaram, and Lord Balaram has come again as Lord Nityananda. And then, of course, we have the Mahavishnu, who is expanded from the Sankarshan, and he has come, and I'll tell you, actually Mahavishnu and a combination of the Sadashiva becomes Advaita Acarya. Advaita Acarya. So he is the incarnation. So you have the Krishna original, Swayam Rupam, personality of Godhead. You have the expansion, Swayam Prabha. You have the expansion, Lord Nityananda. You have the incarnation, Advaita Acharya. Then on the other side, Gadadhar Pandit, internal Ladini Shakti. He is the personification of Srimati Radharani. A little bit different mood than Srimati Radharani in the Krishna Loka, but nevertheless, Gadadhar Pandit. So you have that internal energy, Ladini Shakti. Expansion, incarnation, Ladini Shakti, and then you have Srivas Thakur, who is Narad Muni, and he is the representation of Jiva Tattva. So you have all the different tattvas, all the different spiritual truths are there. Therefore, we refer and say Pancha Tattva, all the five spiritual truths. The original Godhead, Swayam Rupam, the expansion, Chaitanya, then Lord Nityananda, the incarnation, Advaita Acarya, we have Gadada, who is the internal potency of the Ladini Shakti, pleasure potency in Gadada Pandit, and Srimati Radharani come in that form. And then we have, of course, Srivas Thakur, who is a Jiva, and Narad Muni is coming as Srivas Thakur. So all the truths, you have the living entities, the incarnations, the expansions, the pleasure potencies. From Radharani come all the gopis, come all the wives of Krishna, come all the Lakshmis. Everything comes from actually on that side, from from Srimati Radharani. And from the Krishna side comes the Balaram. From Balaram comes all the Chatu Vyuha and the second the Sankarsha, and then the Mahavishnu. Now we know the Mahavishnu, or Karanaksha Vishnu, he lies on the causal ocean, and from him all the universes come. And so it's very important for us as Gaudiya Vaishnavas, coming in the line of all our acharyas who come in the line of the direct disciples of Lord Chaitanya, Sri Rupa and Sri Sanatan. We are known as Rupa Nugas, followers of Rupa Goswami, and we are in the line of Lord Chaitanya. So we are Gaudiya Vaishnavas, Brahma, Madhva, Gaudiya Vaishnavas. So we have to understand what is the actual spiritual truth of the Panchatattva. All these diverse spiritual energy, main categories is there. There are other subcategories, expansions. The Prakriti is expansion, the Mahamaya, Yogamaya, Mahamaya, like that. All originally expanded from the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And on the other side, Srimati Radharani. So, but there's five main categories of spiritual truth, all there. And Lord Chaitanya wanted to show that actually, even above the impersonal, the Brahman, which is also spiritual, Brahman aspect, there's more. There's a spiritual variety, not variety of the material world, but the spiritual variety of the spiritual world, which is beyond this material world. Not of this world, beyond the world. There are many varieties, and they are personified in the Panchatattva. So today is Advaita Acharya's appearance, and here it is said that he is the incarnation of the Mahavishnu, whose main function is to create the cosmic world through the actions of the Maya. So this is summarized here by Krishnadas Kaviraj, what the actions of the Mahavishnu. And the story is that Advaita Acharya. Now, it is said that the aspect of Shiva is known as Sadashiva. Now, Shiva is he is an expansion of Vishnu. He is like on the category of Vishnu, but a little bit different. And he expands in different Rudra forms. And these Rudra forms, some say there's 8, some say 9. You get different versions. But they're different Rudra forms, and they act in different ways throughout each and every universe. They manifest as just like we sing Brahma Bole, Chattamukhe, Krishna Krishna, Hari Hari, Mahadeva, Panchamukhe, Rama Rama, Hari Hari. There's one very nice song we used to always sing in there. We don't hear it so much these days, but in the early days we always did Brahma Bole, Chattamukhe, Krishna Krishna, Hari Hari. Mahadeva, Panchamukhe. So the Mahadeva, the head of all the devas, he is even beyond the devas. And sometimes Mahadeva Panchamukhe, Rama Rama. Brahma likes to chant Krishna Krishna Hari Hari, and Mahadeva, he likes to chant Rama Rama Hari Hari. And he's manifested with the 5 heads. So these 5 heads are manifestation. There's 5 heads, and he has the 3 eyes so this is the Rudra aspect. The Rudra aspect of Lord Shiva. They're expanded from original Shiva. They're expanded, and this 5 heads manifestation is the Rudra. Rudras have the 5 heads. And so then we have a form of Shiva who is actually in the Vaikuntha. He is called Sadashiva. We have one devotee in Indonesia. His name is Sadashiva Das. He's the Sadashiva Das, not original Sadashiva. So Sadashiva means that form of Shiva that actually is expanded from the Vishnu form in the Vaikuntha. This is explained actually in Chaitanya Charitamrita, also explained a little bit in the Brahma Samhita, that the Sadashiva is not of this world. He is beyond this world, and actually he has got a Vishnu form in the Vaikuntha, and it's from that Vishnu form that the Shiva comes and goes to all the universes, expands and goes to all the universes, and then the Rudras come from that Shiva. So that it is said that the Shiva of this world, seeing the Kali Yuga and feeling great compassion for the fallen conditioned souls, what will become of them, how they will become liberated. He was very concerned. He went and prayed at the shore of the ocean, of the causal ocean, the ocean where the Mahavishnu lies. That to go there, not any ordinary person can go there. That is beyond the world. That from the Mahavishnu comes all the universes. Then he expands again and goes into as Garbhodakshaya Vishnu. From that expansion comes the Kiradakshaya Vishnu. So the Mahavishnu is actually beyond the world, expanding all the universes from all the pores of his body. So to go, and that is, he's lying on the Anantasesha, and he has his abode there on the ocean and lying on Anantasesha. But it's a great Karanajal, great causal ocean. So to go to the shore, no one can do. We read the story of Krishna one time taking Arjuna there in his chariot, in the Krishna book that's described. But not ordinary persons can go there. So this Shiva who went there, he's not ordinary, of course. And he went there. Went there and he prayed at the shore of the ocean that what is needed is the form, the all-powerful form of the Lord to come into the world and to taking compassion on the fallen soul and to to bring them to the point of the liberation. So there's one description. There's one book called Advaita Prakash. You can buy that book in Mayapur. They have it in the book table there. It describes the the birth and the history of Advaita Acarya. It's a very extensive book, and you can read all the different story how he was born there. He was born before Lord Chaitanya. But anyway, going back, Shiva went and prayed, and then Mahavishnu appeared to him. It is said actually he prayed and stood there and sat there for 700 years. 700 years, about 700 years, and then finally Mahavishnu appeared to him and said that actually you and I are one, and I know why you've come here. You're feeling great compassion for the fallen souls, especially in the Kali Yuga, and you want to do some action to help them. So I have come with the plan, and I will appear, or my form will appear, and Lord Chaitanya, and I will expand, and Lord Nityananda, and you and I will become one and come as Advaita Acharya. So Lord Mahavishnu, he embraced the Sadashiva, and it is said at that moment their bodies merged into one and descended into the material world, and that combination of the Mahavishnu and the Sadashiva became Advaita Acharya. The combination became Advaita Acharya. And now Advaita Acharya, as the description is given in Advaita Prakash, he was born in Srihat. Srihat is in now what is Bangladesh. I think the modern, I think that is, I haven't been there, but it's called Sylhet now, and it is in the northeast of the Bangladesh, and that is the appearance place. And Kubera Pandit and his wife's name, Nabadevi Dasi, Kubera and Nabadevi Dasi, they lived there, but they moved from there, big family, and they moved from there, they came to Shantipur. So they had one house in Shantipur. So Advaita actually had one house, Shantipur, and of course nearby Mayapur, our ISKCON temple. and you go, there's the Advaita Bhavan, the house of Advaita Acharya. He had one Shantipur, one there. And so, but he appeared in 1434. Now we know that Lord Chaitanya, he appeared in 1486. So that means Advaita Acharya, he was already, by the time of Lord Chaitanya's appearance, he was already 52 years old. So he was already elderly. He was already 52 years old. And it is said that whenever the Lord appears, whatever incarnation, his associates, appear. Some appear with him, some after, a little bit after him, some appear before him. Madhavendra Puri, Ishvara Puri, Lord Nityananda. Next week is Lord Nityananda. I think that Lord Nityananda, there's a 12 years difference in their age between Lord Nityananda and Chaitanya. So Lord Nityananda appeared 12 years before Lord Chaitanya. But Advaita Acharya, he appeared 52 years. So he was already 52. His wife, he had two wives. One was Sita and the other one was Sri, and who said to be an expansion of Sita. But nevertheless, he was already older. Now we know that Haridas Thakur came there, and he was around about the same age. Maybe I think Advaita Acharya was a little bit older, but around about the same age as Advaita Acharya, Haridas Thakur. So they were there, and they were living in Shantipur and Navadvip. And so he is the incarnation of Mahavishnu. And I would describe the main function, of course, of Mahavishnu is to create the cosmic world from him. And that is that same Advaita Acharya has come from him, combination Sadashiva and Mahavishnu. Advaitam, Harinadvaitam, Acharyam Bhakti Samsanat, Bhaktavatarami Shamitam, Advaita Acharyam Asrayem. Because he is non-different from Hari, the Supreme Lord, he is called Advaita. We know some about philosophy, Dvaita and Advaita. Advaita, of course, it means non-different, usually refers to the Brahman. And Dvaita means dual philosophy. But in this sense, sometimes some may ask, why is he called Advaita? That's more like a little bit impersonalism. But he's called Advaita because he is non-different to Hari, as explained here by Krishnadas Kaviraj. This is why he is called Advaita. And he's called Acharya because he's a great as an Acharya. He propagates how to render devotional service to the Supreme Lord, and this is what the business of the Acharya. So therefore, Advaita non-different from Hari, and Acharya because he is propagating devotional service. He is the Lord and the incarnation of the Lord's devotee, therefore I take shelter of him. So he's like incarnation. Lord Balaam is immediate expansion, and he is the personification of incarnation. And Advaita Acharya Goshani Shakshadishwara Yanhara Mahima Nahi Jivera Gochara. Jivera Gochara. And here he said Mahima. Sri Advaita Acharya is indeed directly the Supreme Personality of God in himself. His glory is beyond the conception of ordinary living beings. So we always glorify Advaita Acharya, but he himself sees himself, although he is an incarnation of Mahavishnu, who all the universes come from, he very much, in Chaitanya Leela, he very much sees himself as a servant of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So we say Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he is known as Mahaprabhu, and even Lord Nityananda and Advaita, who are Vishnu Tattva, they are not referred to as Mahaprabhu, they are referred to as Prabhu. Nityananda, we don't say Nityananda Mahaprabhu or Advaita Acharya Mahaprabhu, no. Only Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He is the Maha, the great Prabhu, the great original. So therefore, he is addressed like that, and Advaita is addressed Prabhu, Nityananda is addressed as Prabhu. From him, unlimited forms come, so Advaita Acharya, he is the reservoir of all auspicious attributes. Jagat Mangalam Advaita Mangalam Guna Dharma. Mangala Charita Sada Mangala Yandra Nama. Wonderful prayers here. Sri Advaita Acharya is all auspicious, Mangala, all auspicious. So today is a very auspicious day, appearance day of Advaita Acharya. Non-different from Hari and Acharya. He shows how to do the devotional service, and he is he's Mangala. And also I mentioned here, Yanranama. His name is auspicious. Just to say his name is very auspicious. Advaita Acarya ki jai. So that's very auspicious. So these days are very auspicious for all of us. We are always, every day, we are rendering devotional service, but we can increase even more on these special occasions. So here's the ideal teacher. Prabhupada says here, all his activities and all the activities of Vishnu are always auspicious. Any form of the Lord, as I was saying yesterday, is very, very auspicious if you just remember him, or remember his instructions, or remember his activities. This is all auspicious. If you render service to him, Lord Vishnu is the fountainhead of auspiciousness. So in this sense, Advaita Acharya is the fountainhead. Now there are many personalities, many things that are considered auspicious. Auspicious can be roughly translated as that which is ultimately good for you, and especially spiritually. That which is good for you spiritually is auspicious. People use the word just for ordinary things of the world, but they're not really on the spiritual platform, not really considered auspicious. They're temporary. They're not considered auspicious. Temporary, some pious activity. There may be some benefit there, kriti, some merit, but because it is temporary, it's not considered very deep. But anything to do with Krishna, Radha, the Leela, instructions, their devotees, that is all auspicious. And so, and then the greatest auspiciousness. He is the fountainhead, the source, the fountain, the source of all auspiciousness. Everything becomes auspicious because he is all auspicious. And this is Prabhupada stresses on this point. Now, anyone, as I said, anyone can view the pastimes. And so here in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, also in Chaitanya Bhagavat, Bhakti Ratnakar, there's many works describing the activities. The pastimes of Lord Chaitanya were kept in diaries by Murari Hari and Sarup Damodar, and Vrindavan Das Thakur got from those diaries. So there are many diaries of the pastimes of the activities of Lord Chaitanya and his devotees. This is the greatest gift to humanity, is to have these the Lord appear or receive his instructions and to understand his Leela. Unfortunately, there are those persons in the world who are not very interested, especially in Kali Yuga. So Advaita Acharya was very concerned about these types of individuals. So I'll just, this is a whole chapter is devoted to Advaita Acharya here in Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. Here it is said. Purve yache kaile sarva vishvera srijana, avatari kaile ebe bhakti pravartana. As he had formerly created all the universes, now he descended to introduce the path of bhakti. So at that time, Advaita Acharya was living in Shantipur. Also, he had the house in Mayapur, and he would have regular classes and kirtan in his home, where many of the Vaishnavas would come there, and they would have Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam Katha. They would have kirtan, and they would have prashadam. And so this was the regular activity. So many were attending, many Vaishnavas. But even in the Navadvip area, Advaita Acharya was saw that many were just logicians, maybe a little bit tendency to smarter Brahmanism, just concerned mainly with rituals, not so much with bhakti, devotion. So he was very concerned even for those in the immediate area of Navadvip, and what to speak of the Kali Yuga. So him being a great guru, here it is said by Krishna, Bhakti Upadesha Vina Tanna Nahi Karya. Since he has no other occupation than to teach devotional service, his name is Advaita Acarya. He is the spiritual master of all the devotees. Of course, he is the form of the Lord, and is the most revered personality in the world. By a combination of these two names, his name is Advaita Acarya. Now, as I said, Advaita Acarya saw himself as subordinate to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Now, there is a pastime where Advaita Acarya, he knew the position of Lord Chaitanya, even though he appeared before and he was already 52 years of age. Normally, someone who's 52 years of age and is 50 years your senior, you would give great respect, especially in the olden days, in the Vedic times, you would give great respect to your elders. And they were acted nicely as elders. So you would give great respect, and it's not considered to be etiquette that the elders are subordinating themselves to the juniors. But Advaita Acarya knew the special position of Lord Chaitanya, and he always wanted to subordinate himself. He is, of course, himself. He could have himself liberated all the souls of the Kali Yuga, but he knew Lord Krishna's intentions. He knew that he was coming to experience the mood of Radharani and to distribute that love. He wanted to distribute that love everywhere. So he knew, so he subordinated himself. He himself, Lord Nityananda, could have done, any one of the Panchatattva could have liberated the souls of the Kali Yuga. But they knew the mood and of Lord Chaitanya coming and displaying all these different personalities, and he himself distributing this most intimate love of Godhead. So he always saw himself subordinate. Although Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he came, especially in his younger days, Nimai, and even later on, he would always pay obeisances to Advaita Acarya, because he was the elder and he was a venerable personality, and Advaita Acarya felt very uncomfortable. Hare Krishna. Advaita Acarya felt very uncomfortable being paid respect by Lord Chaitanya. And so there was one Leela where he began to speak, Mayavad philosophy, and hoping, although he was certainly not a Mayavadi, but he began to speak it, and hoping Lord Chaitanya would come and chastise him. And that Lord Chaitanya did that. When he heard that he was speaking like that and associating with some impersonalists, he became most disturbed, and he came there and he chastised him. And then Advaita Acarya said, "Oh, now I'm happy." He is assuming the master, and I am the servant. So he wanted to be like that. Well, even Lord Nityananda saw himself like that. And of course, Lord Chaitanya as Krishna, he is the original. Although he may appear after someone else, but they are all assisting him in his Leela. And so here we'll go on. Now, Sri Advaita is the principal limb of the Supreme Lord, and Yanhara Tulasi Jali Yanyara Hankari Svagana Sahite Chaitanyera Avatare. He worshipped Krishna with tulsi leaves and water of the Ganga and called for him in a loud voice. So Krishna's Kaviraj is summarizing here. In Chaitanya Bhagavat, Vrindavan Das Thakur also describes a little bit more in detail. But and later on, and in other works, there's more detail about how Lord Advaita Acarya was sitting and worshipping a Ganga with tulsi leaves and praying for the Lord to descend in a loud voice. He was actually crying, and it is said that a sound vibration penetrated all the coverings of the universe and went to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And in due course of time, he appeared in this material world, of course, as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. It is through him, Yanna Dvara Kaila Prabhu Kirtana Prachara, Yanna Dvara Kaila Prabhu Jagat Nishtara. It is through him, Advaita Acarya, that Lord Chaitanya spread the Sankirtan movement, through him that he delivered the world. I mean, he, being his servant, he called him. And of course, Lord Chaitanya, as I said, God works in many ways, and through so many, he can choose to work through whomever he wants to work through. And so, but those he chooses who are very great, then when they assist the Lord, just as Lord Nityananda and Advaita, who are none other than Vishnu Tattva, then when they assist him, what is accomplished is very, very great. It's very, very great. So all of us are in Lord Chaitanya Sankirtan movement, and we're trying to assist our Guru Maharaj, and he's trying to assist his Guru Maharaj. We saw Srila Prabhupada very humble. He said, I am just a servant of my Guru Maharaj, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. And now in Kolkata, they've done this where Srila Prabhupada came as Abhay Charan Day to meet with his friend. They came. We bought that place, and we've renovated there. And you can go there. Any of you, those who go to Mayapur, you can go to that place, and they've done very nice renovation there. And Lord Srila Bhaktisiddhanta sitting, and they've got all murtis there, and you can see the place where Srila Bhaktisiddhanta is instructing young Abhay Charan Day about the path of Lord Chaitanya. So if you ever go to Mayapur, you have to go to Calcutta, but it's well worth the trip. You can actually Google this, and you can see it online. You can see pictures of it. So if you have got some time in Calcutta, maybe you can visit there. Also Prabhupada's house. You go to the Calcutta, ISKCON Calcutta there. And from there you can go to these other places. You can stay a few days if you want. They got a guest house there. You can stay a few days there. And so you have to book in advance stuff. But so you can go there. But so Srila Prabhupada always saw himself as subservient. Whatever he accomplished, he attributed to the mercy of his Guru Maharaj. And so we're also engaged in devotional service. We're doing many things. Maybe we're distributing books, we're doing deity worship, we're cooking, we're farming. So many services we can do for Krishna, trying to follow in the mood of our Guru Maharaj and spread the Sankirtan movement of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So we can achieve some things, but the great devotees like Advaita Acarya, Lord Nityananda, they achieved wonderful things. Wonderful things. So by his calling, praying, Lord Chaitanya appeared. With all of them, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, E Sabalai Chaitanya Prabhura Vihara, E Sabalai Karina Vanchita Prachara. With all of them, Lord Chaitanya performed these pastimes, and with them he spread his mission. Mandavendra Purira Ino Shisha E Jane, Acharya Goshaneri, Prabhu Guri Kari Mane. Advaita Acarya actually is a disciple of Madhavendra Puri, although actually Advaita Acarya is really the guru of Madhavendra Puri, but he accepted the position. He went traveling later. There's many pastimes told in Advaita Prakash of his upbringing, how he was a very wonderful child, and many pastimes when he was young and when he was a baby, then when and in his youth, and then he went to the Gurukula, and then he grew up, and then his parents got elderly and passed away. He went to the Gaya and did the Pinda, everything there, and then he went traveling to all the holy places. There's a nice description. He went traveling all the holy places around India, and he came to Vrindavan, and had many pastimes there with Advaita Acarya. And so it's a very vast book with so many different incidents. So I'll just finish here. It says here, Lakike lalite dharma mayada rakshana stuti bhakti karine tandra charana vandana. This is emphasizing the point that I was just speaking about. To maintain the proper etiquette for the principles of religion, Lord Chaitanya bows down at the lotus feet of Sri Advaita Acarya with reverential prayers and devotion. Chaitanya Goshanike Acharya Kari Prabhu Jane Apanake Karina Tandra Dasa Abhimana. Sri Advaita Acharya, however, considers Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu his master, and he thinks of himself as a servant of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Prabhupada actually gives a very, very long purport to this, explaining the mood of Lord Advaita Acharya in regard to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Hare Krishna, a little bit of a summary of the appearance and position and pastimes of Advaita Acharya. If you have time, you can read more through Chaitanya Charitamrita, many different sections of Chaitanya Charitamrita describing pastimes of Advaita Acharya and Lord Nityananda and Lord Chaitanya, all the devotees. So today is the anniversary of his appearance. So all glories to Advaita Acharya ki jai. So does anyone have any questions or comments in regard to Advaita Acharya, today's class? Yes, ma'am.
You were saying that Advaita Acharya was worshipping the Lord next to the Ganges with Tulsi leaves.
Yes.
And calling out really loudly for the Lord to appear.
Yeah.
And I was wondering, the Lord doesn't really need that. He doesn't need
What are you wondering?
I'm wondering because Krishna doesn't need that. He doesn't need someone to call him for him to come. He could have come without that. So I was wondering why that.
Well, because, different. The Lord comes not just for one reason. There are many, many reasons that the Lord descends. Of course, as I said right in the beginning, Panchatattva, he wanted to manifest a different variegatedness of spiritual reality. And you may remember I was talking about Sankaracharya, promoting the impersonal aspect, the Brahman aspect, going from Buddha before him and then Sankaracharya. So that was very popular all over. So Lord Chaitanya very much wanted to show beyond that is different varieties. And so he descended. He could have liberated, any one of the Panchatattva could have liberated the fallen conditioned souls. But Lord Chaitanya wanted to show these varieties and engage those devotees in spreading and empowered them to spread the Sankirtan movement of Lord Chaitanya. He himself wanted to taste the love that Radha had for Krishna, and so he did that, and he wanted to distribute that prema to one and all, and especially through this Hare Krishna mantra. But the internal reason for Lord Chaitanya is he really wanted to taste the love of Srimati Radharani. He wanted to know why living entities, why she was so attracted to him. He wanted to also know why ordinary living entities were attracted. He didn't want to know, he knew, but he wanted to taste it himself. So his own beauty, what was that? He wanted to taste how the living entities are attracted to it. And how Radharani has so much love for him, and then simultaneously he wanted to show the variety of the spiritual world. So he descends, and the Panchatattva are very important aspects to the five features, even they're referred to in that, the five features of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the five features of spiritual reality, and as opposed to just the oneness, which is a reality. It's a Brahman, but it's not the highest reality. So he came in that way. Any other question? Okay. Jai Sri Advaita Acharya ki Jai. Gaur Premanandi.
Hari Bol.
Jai.